This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Monday, the 21st day of June in the year 2021. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here's what we're tracking tonight. More than 3 weeks after the Ministry of Health announced that it ran out of the second doses for the Sputnik coronavirus vaccine, health officials are still unable to provide any definite timeline for the arrival of the second doses. More than 100,000 persons are awaiting their second dose of the Russian-made vaccine. Both doses are required for someone to be fully immunized and get maximum protection against COVID-19. The Health Ministry has, however, indicated that persons are still within the timeline to get their second shot. The ministry has advised that a second dose could be administered between 4 to 12 weeks after the first dose. But many persons who have already been administered the first dose have taken to social media to complain about the absence of that second dose. The health minister today said there is still no definitive timeline for the arrival of the second dose. He said the health ministry is hoping that the vaccines will arrive sooner. He also said that 3 weeks ago.
We keep working to make sure that we can get it. Part of the challenge right now is that in Moscow, as you would know from the epi data that is available right now, you would see that there are spikes in Moscow with the Delta variant, and that might be one of the reasons why we are having difficulty in getting the supplies that are needed, because in Russia they have updated or they have accelerated vaccination of their own population. But we are working to see how fast we can get those second doses in. But just to reiterate that second dose, you can get your second dose between 4 weeks and 12 weeks. So those persons who are expecting their second dose anytime between this time period would be good. So you don't have to just think about just 4 weeks after. You anytime in between 4 weeks to 12 weeks. Once you get it within that time frame, you'll be fine.
According to the Ministry of Health, a total of 98,635 persons have been fully vaccinated against COVID-19. Of that number, the health minister has indicated that over 59,000 of those persons were fully vaccinated with Sputnik. Last Friday, his advisor, Dr. Leslie Ramzami, claimed that the figure was about 61,000. A total of 227,690 persons have received the first dose of the coronavirus vaccines being administered in Guyana, with the majority of people receiving the Sputnik vaccine. The Ministry of Health has been mum on the number of people awaiting their second dose. Based on figures released by the Ministry of Health, Guyana has so far received 305,000 doses of the Sputnik vaccine, with the ministry indicating that more than 59,000 persons were fully vaccinated by the time they ran out of second doses. It means that the country received more first doses than it ordered and more first doses than second doses. The health minister indicated that the country ordered and paid for 200,000 first doses and 200,000 second doses, a total of 400,000 vaccines. But based on figures released by the ministry, it appears as though the country received more than 245,000 first doses of Sputnik, representing an excess of 45,000. The ministry has not furnished answers to several questions posed by news source on the discrepancies. While the other two vaccines being administered, Sinopharm and AstraZeneca, use the same vaccine as the first and second dose, Sputnik uses two totally different vaccines. More news coming up in just a moment.
What's our purpose? Together we rise. For our community, our customer, and our country. Our promises: strengthen our community, reliably connect our customers, innovate for all in our country. Together we rise.
I'm Joseph Harmon, leader of the opposition, and I'm here to encourage all Guyanese to take the COVID-19 vaccine. In the coming days, we will be rolling out a few activities as part of our increased efforts to help us fight against this deadly virus. Join us as we come together to protect ourselves and our loved ones. None of us are protected unless all of us are protected. Get vaccinated today, protect you, and protect your loved ones.
Sonia, you think people easy? People just really want to do their own thing. Look across the road how we building the house low. The building code say you're supposed to be 2 feet off the ground.
And when the place flood, them just be the first to complain.
But you know sometimes we that just contribute to the flooding with we behavior.
We know by. We just throw things in the drains and canals. We don't keep the gutters clean and dispose of garbage properly. By the way, you got an emergency kit?
Yeah, Sonia, I got me own and it got drinking water, army medicines, and for say things like band-aids, iodine, bandages.
And me own got in toothpaste, a change of underwear and clothing, toilet paper and soap.
Guyana, our country, our responsibility.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Mom, what are you doing with GPL on your list?
Child, you forgot I have to pay GPL?
You got time with GPL.
I have to keep these lights on. The customers who think in that manner and refuse to honor their obligation to GPL are obviously not playing their part in ensuring quality service delivery. So, I will continue to pay my GPL bill on time, every time.
I recognize the value of your point, Mom. You were right.
GWI introduces CAP, their customer assistance promotion that offers massive discounts. For a limited time, get 50% off all reconnection fees and another 50% off your entire bill. If your service was removed or you've reconnected on your own, GWI is offering yet another 50% discount off all tampering and replacement fees. Wallet-friendly payment plans are also available. So tap into GWI's customer assistance promotion by visiting any GWI office and avoid them taking legal action. CAP only applies to customers whose services were disconnected or removed prior to 2021. For more information, call 227-8701 or WhatsApp 620-1667. Water is life. Save it.
Mobil 1 is more than oil. It's many oils. It transforms at the molecular level. When cold, it's thicker than honey. When hot, it's thinner than water. Mobil 1 adapts and readapts to last longer. 16,000 kilometers between oil changes. That's your engine evolved.
Sol Guyana is the authorized distributor of Mobil lubricants.
Let GBTI make your dreams of owning a home a reality. Buy or build your home with us. Let us help you to completely outfit your home and make it move-in ready. Need to purchase land? We finance that too. Benefit from our 10% down payment and interest rates as low as 4.25%. Calculated on the reducing balance with up to 30 years to repay. Switch your mortgage to us and learn about benefiting from the equity in your home. Invest wisely. Apply online or call your branch to schedule an appointment. GBTI, we see Guyana through your eyes.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right. Walk in upright ways. knowing that's what being a man is all about, and ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
Some tragic news to report now. A 20-year-old Venezuelan woman died on the spot when the car she was in slammed into a power pole at Stewartville on the west coast of Demerara. The dead woman has been identified as Julie Alejandra Brazan. 5 other persons, including 4 other Venezuelan women and the driver, who is from Buxton, are hospitalized with serious injuries. The 5 Venezuelan women all live in the Stewartville community, according to a police report. The accident occurred at around 2:30 this afternoon. The driver of the car, Anthony Ralph, was reportedly speeding when he lost control of the vehicle and slammed into the power pole, splitting the car into 2. A surveillance video recording of the accident from a nearby business place showed the car swaying from side to side at a fast rate before hitting the pole. Persons in the area rushed to the scene and pulled the injured from the wreckage. They were all taken to the hospital, where the 20-year-old was officially declared dead. The injured persons remain in a serious condition tonight. In the world of politics, longtime member of the People's National Congress Reform, attorney Tendai McAllister, has withdrawn her membership from the party over concerns about the party's current leadership. McAllister, who has also resigned from the Central Executive Committee of the party and its Region 3 office, in a statement this afternoon, said she served the PNC for the past 25 years, and her decision to part ways with the party at this time was careful and agonizing. She said she concluded that the present direction of the leadership is ill-suited to the fulfillment of the aspirations of young people in Guyana, the enhancement of the party's supporters, and the advancement of the nation. The attorney and former youth leader in the party also said that she can no longer accompany a process which, in her view, has departed from serving the interests of the many who reposed faith in the PNC reform to champion their causes and to offer constructive pathways for the development of the country. The resignation of the longtime party executive member comes at a time when the leadership of the party is being pressed to host the party's Congress and the elections for leader. Incumbent leader and former President David Granger has been coming under increasing pressure from a large section of the party's membership to step down from office. He has not budged. McAllister was one of the busy campaigners at the last elections, but was surprisingly left off of the party's parliamentary list. In the past few months, several members of the PNC Reform's Executive Committee have been complaining bitterly about Mr. Granger's unilateral decision on several issues that should first be taken before the party's executive. Let's tell you now that, still facing the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the travel agency, regional carrier Caribbean Airlines has announced its decision to retrench 450 workers across its network, representing 25% of the company's workforce. After recording profits in 2018 and 2019, Caribbean Airlines recorded financial losses of more than $109 million last year. And in the first quarter of this year, the company has already recorded $25.7 million in losses. The airline today admitted that the forecast for the travel industry in the coming months is not a good one, and it has been forced to make the move to retrench employees, as it has also been operating at just 10% of its previous normal operations. And despite offering some services in some Caribbean countries, the airline has seen its passenger load plummet. The airline's management has determined that until air travel regains its pre-COVID-19 momentum, the airline will need to adjust its operations to cater to a reduced scale of demand. Caribbean Airlines believes that passenger demand in the short to medium term is not going to recover sufficiently to support the existing company structure after the reopening of the borders in Trinidad and other places. In addition to shredding staff numbers, Caribbean Airlines will also be reducing its fleet and other assets to reduce costs. The route network is also expected to be adjusted. After the pandemic hit and the airline was forced to ground most of its flights, it received an injection of more than $100 million from the Trinidad and Tobago government. 2 weeks after 3 patients of the New Amsterdam Psychiatric Hospital were badly burned during a fire at the facility, one of the patients has died from his injuries. Family members have identified the dead patient as 38-year-old Wabushi King of the east coast of Demerara. King was first admitted to the New Amsterdam Hospital with burns to his body, then later rushed to the Georgia Hospital, where he passed away on Friday. Shocked family members are now seeking answers as they have complained that they were never informed of the man's injuries and barely got to see him before he passed away on Friday. One of the dead man's sisters, Malika King, told News Source today that a post-mortem examination conducted this morning found that her brother died from multiple burn injuries as well as smoke inhalation. The sister said her brother was admitted to the hospital days before it went up in flames. She explained that after the family saw news reports about the fire, they made several attempts to make contact with the hospital, but those efforts failed. According to the sister, after she saw officials on the news explaining that all of the family members for the injured were contacted, her family thought that her brother was safe since they were not contacted at all. The sister told News Source that it wasn't until the mother made a decision to visit the facility last week that the family learned after the mother got to Berbice that a 38-year-old man was among those seriously injured and hospitalized.
Well, to be honest with you, as I tell you my mom's condition before, she is, taking it very hard because she said if she signed the papers for him to go, and it's really chaos home here. I'm trying to do the best I can, yeah.
The grieving sister explained to News Source that when she got to the Georgia Hospital, she walked straight past her brother in the emergency area because he was unrecognizable owing to the severity of the burns.
Yes, God, and we need answer. We want to know who's going to stand this expense. What's going to happen? We need answers. The minister came in here and he said the injured persons were contacted. I would like you also, and today I understand they discharged Mohammed. I don't know because of what happened Friday. Today they discharged Mohammed. Mohammed's mother called crying. Mohammed have on Pampers. He had graphing. How can he go home?
When the fire broke out in a section of the psychiatric hospital, some of the patients were trapped in the heavily grilled building. By the time the nurses on duty were able to get them out, a number of them were badly burnt. It remains unclear what caused the fire, but it was spotted just after 2 of the patients got into a fight. An investigation into the incident is still ongoing. Police investigators are probing the stabbing death of a 23-year-old man at a Sandy Bab Street party late on Saturday night. The dead youth has been identified as Kewal Dindon. A 21-year-old suspect has since been arrested for the murder. A police report of the incident stated that the now deceased man and 2 of his friends were at a birthday party when an argument started between him and the suspect. During the argument, the suspect was reportedly pushed to the ground and later chased down the street. The police stated that at one stage, a now deceased man, Kewal Dindon, and his friends caught up with the suspect and started to beat on him. The suspect retaliated by pulling out a knife from his waist and stabbing Dindon to the upper right side of the body, causing him to collapse as he attempted to run. The injured man was picked up and rushed to the Georgetown Hospital, where he died while undergoing emergency care. The 21-year-old suspect, along with the friends of the deceased who attacked him, have all been arrested as the matter is still under investigations. This evening, investigations are still ongoing to determine the cause of the fire which gutted a section of the North Runville Multilateral School on Saturday afternoon. Education Minister Priya Manik-Chan today met with the students and teachers of the school as well as some parents. She specifically wanted to meet with the students who are preparing for their CSEC examinations in a matter of days. The Education Minister has pledged her support for the teachers and students of the school, promising that the ministry will also lend support in the coming days. She said the school will be rebuilt.
I want particularly the students of this school to know that we have already begun work, especially the CSEC, 65 CSEC students that are to begin their CSEC in 6 to 7 days, that we've already begun to determine where they're going to write the exams. And we want to commit to them today that they're going to get the full support of the central ministry and the government to make sure they can successfully write these exams. To all the other students, 512 on the register, we will also do what we have to do to make sure those students are not displaced any more than they were during the COVID period and because of this fire.
Most of the students want to write their CSEC examinations at the same school, in one of the unaffected areas. The education minister said her ministry will look into that once they're given the green light from the fire service. Meanwhile, she said systems are being put in place to accommodate them at other locations.
This is extremely unfortunate. It is very saddening, actually. Any school that goes up in flames would be a really, really sad thing for us to deal with. But this particular school it's our A-list school. It means that it's a school of very high quality. Students who do very well at Common Entrance or NGSE get placed here. And so we have no choice. This will be a school that is repaired and we will recover from this.
Owing to the COVID-19 pandemic, the school was only open to students preparing for the CSEC examinations. The education minister said all efforts will be exhausted to ensure systems are in place to accommodate those students. On Saturday, the shocked head teacher and other teachers at the school stood in disbelief as the fire crisscrossed its way through the building. By the time the fire service was able to completely extinguish the blaze, just a shell of the building was left standing. The origin of the fire is unknown and the fire service has promised a comprehensive investigation.
You see them children playing in the dirty water again?
You know me talk to them this morning, like them don't understand.
Every time it flood, they just want to go in the flood waters. They think this thing is fun. You could get serious diseases in the water. And if an electrical line fall in the water, you could get electrocuted. Little boy, you want to tell you not to play in that water? Come here this minute.
You see the water don't start coming in the house? When you're living in a downstairs, you just got to take precautions.
That is right. You got to make sure there's a pair of long boots for every member of the family. Protect drinking water from contamination. Keep a stock of foods that can't spoil. And have some place to go if your place flood out.
Guyana, our country, our responsibility.
At Sosh Financial, we create strategies for strengthening business and personal finances while helping our clients to build sustainable wealth. Our financial and business consultancy services are uniquely tailored to ensure every client receives quality packages and optimal results. Our financial services include financial reporting and analysis, financial status assessment, internal audits, bookkeeping and records management, financial planning advice, tax returns. Our business advisory services are related to business plans, business startups, operational improvement, business management, document preparation, procedures development, efficient marketing. Call or WhatsApp us today for your free consultation on telephone number 592-665-6045. Sosh Financial, strengthening businesses, building wealth.
What's our purpose? Together we rise. For our community, our customer, and our country. Our promises: strengthen our community, reliably connect our customers, innovate for all in our country. Together we rise.
Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive!
I'm Ron Robinson. I took the vaccine because, you see, I want to protect myself. And at my age, and even those younger than I am, over 40, take the vaccine. It doesn't mean I'm not going to get COVID, but it means I ain't going to go into ICU. I'm not going to be seriously ill with COVID, and it is more than likely it will not take me to my grave because I got a vaccine in me that says it won't and will help me to be immune to it and keep it down. So I'm telling you, please, let's fight it. Let's attack this pandemic. Not just say, I'm not going to get it. You can. So attack it, not just, take precautions. Attack it. Take the vaccine. I'm telling you, it can save you a lot of worry, and your relatives as well, and your friends.
Across the region tonight, in Jamaica, the Andrew Holness administration has signaled that work is well advanced on new legislation to provide the security forces with an arsenal for tackling violent crime. Prime Minister Andrew Holness told reporters yesterday that his administration will put in place a better scheme of arrangements that are clarified and clearer in keeping with the Constitution of Jamaica. He said the Emergency Security Measures Act was now in the development process and would be introduced in Parliament at a later date. However, the Prime Minister said that his government was not abandoning the use of states of emergency if the need arose. He argued that if a situation occurred where there was a threat to life, community, and property that satisfied the constitutional requirements, the government would still trigger the security order. Holness said the issue of contention might be extending a state of emergency beyond the initial 14-day period. Police in Nicaragua have detained another potential candidate for the presidency in the latest crackdown on opposition figures. Journalist Miguel Mora was detained under Nicaragua's controversial treason law. He is the fifth presidential hopeful to be arrested in the past 3 weeks. The wave of detentions comes 5 months before elections, in which President Daniel Ortega is expected to run for a fourth consecutive term. Police said that they had arrested Mr. Mora, a former director of opposition TV channel 100% Noticias, for inciting foreign interference in internal affairs and requesting military intervention. Since the 2nd of June, 5 presidential hopefuls have been arrested in Nicaragua. And finally tonight, international news. Iran's president-elect has welcomed the negotiations with world powers aimed at reviving a 2015 nuclear deal, but he said they must guarantee national interests. At his first press conference since his victory in Friday's election, Ibrahim Raisi promised he would not allow the talks in Vienna to be dragged out. He also insisted that Iran's ballistic missile program was not negotiable. The nuclear deal has been close to collapse since the US abandoned it and reinstated sanctions 3 years ago. The new prime minister, who was a hard-line Shia Muslim cleric and who is also the head of Iran's judiciary, is close to the supreme leader in Iran. He won Friday's election by a landslide with 62% of the votes in the first round. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley, wishing you a safe and enjoyable night.